How's it going? Anthony Fro here, Create Sci-Fi. Today we're gonna paint the Kitbash spaceship. Whoa. So excited about this project. If you've been following along, you know, now we're gonna start painting this. If you're just joining us, I'll link below. You should go and check out how we bash this together, right? So this is really exciting to me because a lot of the things I share on this channel are sort of tips and tricks and just me sharing knowledge I've learned of things that I do a lot and that I'm pretty comfortable with. But this, the kit bashing, I've been doing it all for the first time on this channel, right? So I have, you know, for the DIY people or the people that just want to get started, I have 2 videos where I did kit bashing from the dollar store, right? So like $5 worth of material. We filmed it with a smartphone, right? All very doable, and you can take a look at those. But for myself and for other people, I wanted to go to the next level. So I'm going for like a 70s style practical spaceship shot, right? So we had to build the ship. So now we kit bash this, and now we're gonna do the painting. So I'm excited about the painting because I'm gonna do an Aztec treatment on this, which is really cool. So it's really noticeable Star Trek on the Enterprise. If you look sort of at the saucer top of that, you'll see like the Aztec pattern, right? And if you look closely, like at Star Wars ships, you'll see it as well. It's basically like a pixelation, or kind of like, you know, like that, the square, like pixel camouflage. It's like that. So what it does is it just sort of breaks up the color and the model, and I think it just makes it look better on film. And we're gonna go ahead and do that. I actually got, from my model shop, I got some Aztec ink templates, which is pretty cool. I did a base coat, right? So the base coat is gonna be darker, and then a lighter top coat that'll reveal the Aztecing, and then weathering. And then weathering, also I do a lot of weathering on this channel, but I've never used powders. So I'm gonna use powders for this. And then also, I do have some paint. This is called Starship Streaks, right? So I'm excited about this. And I picked this up at my local model shop in Burbank, and I would encourage you, you know, you can get anything you need online, which is awesome. Especially, you know, if you live far away from a big city, that's great. But I encourage you to go to local shops, right? So I was in my local model shop. I was talking to the gentleman about what I was doing, and I said I want to use the powders, and then he mentioned this streak paint, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool, like, thanks. I said, you know, so I'll just drip it like it's coming off the bolts. And he said, no, imagine it's moving through space, right? It's moving through the air, so the streaks would go like that way. And I was like, oh, good tip. So it's a little thing, but it's kind of really great information. So that's why I would encourage you, if you get a chance, you know, go to a local shop, talk to people. Anyway, I'm excited to get started. So let's go ahead and do the Aztec painting on this and the weathering, and yeah, let's get right to it. All right, so lots of new things to learn about, to play with. I got my paints, washes, stencils, weathering powders. Can't wait to get started. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is the Aztecing. Initially, I was just gonna use pieces of tape and create these patterns, but I found that great stencil kit at my hobby shop. Here's the paint that I'm gonna use. So I don't usually show spray painting, but here it is, just so that you know I do it. It's just a weird thing to film yourself. And, you know, it's not that exciting, but there it is. Here's the base coat. Now, this is a darker coat because this is what I want to be underneath the lighter coat. So now I'm just taking these little Aztec stencils off. And what I like to do when I'm doing this, you know, this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy. You kind of get into like a Zen mode here. So what I'm doing is, you're not overthinking it. I mean, you're being aware of the composition, but if you overthink it, it'll start to look too purposeful. I don't know if that's the right word. It just won't be right. So there, I did it sort of on an off-kilter way, and I know that's going to create 2 new shapes. And always looking at it, right? Always looking at it, squinting, thinking. And I'm like, okay, that looks about right, and maybe there's one more spot. So now we flip it over to the other side. Now here it's really important because on these wing fins, I have no texture. So I want to make sure I put these in a good place. And actually, after I film this, I learned that there's a tool to create sort of the panel lines. So in the future, I'll do that. But for now, I'm going to rely on the Aztecing just to break up that sort of solid panel. So here's my lighter coat. It's the AS20. Really, really liking these Tamiya spray paints. Really great. So there's the coverage there, right? So now, sort of that iconic, I guess, you know, reminiscent of like the Star Wars white. And now here is hashtag peel porn. Peeling off labels, picking at pimples. Very satisfying, right? So now I'm just carefully picking off all of these little stencils from our template. And it's starting to look like something, right? So it's tedious, but I don't know, something about demasking is kind of enjoyable, right? You get in the zone. And always, like I said, looking at it. And I always do these flybys. I mean, it's kind of feels like clowning around, but really, because I have the camera running, it's a really great tool to see if everything's working. So now with the magnifying glass, I do have like reading glasses, but I find the magnifying glass to find if you missed one, and see I missed one there, because of sort of the area of the magnifying glass, like it focuses in. It's just a good tool to sort of see if you missed anything, right? All right, so now I'm going to, before I do my weathering, I just want to create a couple black areas. So I'm masking off in what I'm kind of considering my bridge area. I want to make like windows, and then also in this front grill, this mouth, where it's open, I really want it to sort of disappear in there. So I'm going to paint black in there, but I don't want to get black over everything we just did. And then I'm going to gun muddle the engines, right? So that's all masked. Really love the Tamiya masking tape. Really, you know, beyond model making, all these Tamiya products are just really going to be great for my prop making as well, right? So this is just a basic flat black, and I'm just putting it in all the deep recesses that I want to sort of disappear into infinity. And then here's just going to be like a little indication of maybe this is the windows of the bridge, right? So just black, subtle, small. I think it helps with scale too. So you know that there's like thousands of people on this ship. And then here's the gunmetal. I just want to put one sort of coat of gunmetal over the end of the rocket engines, just to sort of give them a little bit of heft and separate them from the rest of the piece. So I'm giving them a second coat. This is sort of, I think, like airbrush paint. So it's a cool color, but it just takes a little more to cover. And yeah, that's going to be good. And again, all that's really popping now. But once we do the weathering and the washes, everything's going to blend together, right? So more demasking. And actually, I don't think you can really see in this, but what happened, because I was painting with a brush, I still didn't get like a fine line, right? So some of it bled underneath there. Usually what I like to do is hit it with a coat of clear just to prevent the bleeding. I didn't do that. So there, I'm just inspecting that. And I got a couple spots where I'm just going to take just some of the color in the spray paint cap there, just sprayed some in there. And I'm just doing just a little bit of touch up. It wasn't that bad where I'd had to redo the whole thing, but just cleaning it up. And again, inspecting, looking, squinting. Yeah, really like the way the black sells that grill. So now we're going to do the wash. So what I learned from this one was that even the colors were too stark of a contrast. I wanted to be even closer with the Aztecing. So I'm making a decision here to do a heavy wash. I mean, I do a heavy wash anyway, but in this case, I'm not being sort of careful to get a lot of it off. I actually want this wash to help me to mute the whole thing so that my Aztec colors don't pop so much. I want them to be more subtle. So now I'm just going in here. There's all this stuff going on the top that we're really going to make pop with this wash. And again, broken record, this is like a specific wash. You've seen on this channel with me a million times. I just do like black acrylic paint with water, that's fine. But this, man, this pre-made wash, it's just really, really nice. I gotta give it up for these model makers. They got some great tools. All right, so inspecting, right? So now it's a little heavy. I'm okay with that. But what is working for me now is my Aztecing is starting to blend a lot better, right? So now it's not popping so much because we have this wash, little flyby. All right, so now the magnifying glass out again. Just want to make sure, because the wash I have over everything, if there's one spot where I missed, that's actually going to really pop out, and I don't want that. So going to seal this with a clear coat. All the time when we're doing these layers of weathering, you always want to seal in your previous pass because you don't want everything to blend together with mud. All right, so now I'm going to do like a dirt paint chipping kind of thing. You see this a lot with the World War II models. All right, so now I'm just prepping my little sponge tool here. You can glue a sponge on a stick. You can hold it in your hand. These I just found at the craft store. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting it odd shapes and I'm picking out some pieces so that it's uneven. Here I have my water-based acrylics. And I really like these paints. These are from my prop making. And what I'm doing is, this is almost the same thing when we do our dry brush technique, but it's like a dry brush dabbing. So just a little bit on the sponge, get it on the towel just so you have a little bit. And again, you know, this is like when we were laying down the masking, just sort of squinting at it, trying to get it, you know, in random places. Don't want to go too heavy. And then in some places, maybe it goes a little heavy, but that's fine. Just go with it. And now we're looking at it, and it's, yeah, it really does a good job also of just breaking it up. So now I just have a little bit of silver, and everywhere where I put those little dabs of the paint chipping, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of silver, right? So, you know, most of this you won't see, but it's sort of that, you know, the way paint chips, it usually has like layers to it. And again, another flyby. We're getting there. All right, so looking at this now, I'm gonna seal in that last step that we just did, and now we're gonna do the weathering powders. Very excited about this, never did this before. These ones are more of a beginner one. They're specifically made for that, so they're a little more forgiving. And what I really wanna do here is use the burnt blue and the burnt like red, the burnt orange, just to sort of break up the profile of this whole piece, right? Because right now it's all pretty uniform. I painted it one color, I Azteced it one color, we did the wash in one color. So now with these powders, I want to do the blue and the red and sort of the oil spill black, just to give little patches that, like, if you squint at it, it's just not this one solid uniform thing. Like, this thing is really beat up, and the more that I weather it, the heavier I go. So right in these creases of the fins, like, I go heavy with the brown, it's a burnt red. Then around the metallic cold stuff, I go blue. Now here's the proper powders, right? These are the more advanced ones. This is a little darker brown, so I go with this, and this one is a little more difficult to work with. I'm learning less is more with these. And what you do is you pour it where you want it, and then here I just have an unused squirt bottle. You want to just blow this off. You can use like an air can, any kind of like air blowing tools, like for a camera or lens. And you just want to get rid of the excess, and then I use a towel to get rid of more. And that stuff goes on really heavy, so I try to be sparing with that. But what I like is it's yet another tone, right? So we're getting all these different layers and tones going on. And I think that's what's really important, right? Like I said, it's my first time doing this, but if I go from my experience with props and costumes, you really want to just break it up. So now I'm doing like a final pass, right? I have all my colors, and you know, you can't see my face, but I'm just squinting and saying like, okay, it's too uniform here. Let me break it up with maybe a little blue, maybe a little bit of the red. And just, yeah, looking, squinting, spinning. One thing I learned from Frank Eppolito is you take pictures on your phone, and then you look at it in a photograph. It looks different than when you're looking at it. And now I think, yeah, I think this is going to be it. Is this the final answer? I think, yes, step away and varnish it. That's a matte varnish. Everything's sealed in, and here's the beauty shots. Like, really happy with this, right? Like, when you do these flybys slow like this, it looks just the way I imagined it, right? You know, it's a little heavy, but my feeling is this is not meant to be on the shelf. This is meant to be on film. So when it flies by, you're not going to be really staring at it. You're just going to get an impression. Really love the way the back of that looks. Was happy with that fin look. And here's a glorious overview. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. First time, not bad. Yes, yes, we did it. Wow, that was so much fun. Wow, all right, so I'm so glad that I decided to try this at the next level. You know, remember, this is my first time doing this, right? So for people who have never done this, I think it's pretty clear, it's very doable. I think for people who've been doing this sort of thing for a while, one thing probably now that I've done it is maybe a little heavy on the weathering, but I wanted that, right? It's like I did the Aztecing. What I learned from that was I need to be even closer with the colors. Still, like, you know, in the can, there's a very subtle contrast to the colors, which I wanted, but once you paint it, it's a very stark contrast, right? So I compensated that by doing the heavy weathering. I like the heavy weathering, right? And then, you know, I just went heavier and heavier. And one thing to keep in mind is that, you know, primarily on this channel, when I make something, I'm making it for film, right? Film, video, series, short film, feature film. So in this case, the next video, we're gonna fly this sucker. Now, I do have lots of knowledge and experience with props and costumes, and I find that if you're looking at it cosplay, the way that I weather, it's too heavy, but on film, it's just right. So I'm applying that same principle to this. I'll find out, I'll let you know. But I feel like heavier is better for film, because if you're just gonna put this on your shelf, and you're just looking at it, might be a little heavy. But remember, the intention of this is that, right? So I think the heavy weathering is going to serve me better, but wow. Just so satisfying. Wow, really happy with the way that came out. Well, if you're watching this in the future, go back and watch the video that I'll link to of how we kit bash this. And then the next video is going to be flying this on the green screen. And if you're tuning in as this is happening, the next video is going to be the flight. Let's do one more. Well, as always, I hope you found this video useful. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Love to read the comments. And be sure to check out the merch shop. Now, in honor of this kit bashing adventure we've been on, I made this this t-shirt, this Universal Greebly t-shirt. It's kind of like a special edition. So that's in the shop now. If you're a model person, or if you just love the idea of the Universal Greebly, check that shirt out. Well, as always, remember, I'm just here to help make sci-fi.